we can live the law of attraction theoretically, or we can live it practically. Now, we can go into all kinds of things about how did people get killed in the war, or why do young children die, and all these other things. Or we can look at it from a very practical sense and say, okay, if I believe that it's possible, then it's more likely possible than if I believe that it's not possible. So we start with a very basic concept of positive thought, and we go from, okay, do I actually believe this is possible for me? Because in the moment that I don't believe it's possible, it's not going to be, because I believe it's not possible. So just from that alone, we sort of get an inkling that if we think it's possible, then it could be, and if we think it's not possible, then it's highly unlikely that it will be. Now, for law of attraction, we don't need anything more or anything less than that. All we need is start with one basic thing of, let's say, for example, do you like your life the way it is? Okay, there's an easy way to tell. How do you feel about it? Now, we all know that business people are successful and they go by their gut instinct. Do we realize that gut instinct is feelings? That the very people that say that you shouldn't be following your feelings because they're unreliable are the ones that follow their feelings to create their success? So how do you feel about your life? Every minute of the day, do you feel good about what you're doing? If not, there's guidance from the universe that you were born with about how you feel about your life. And if you don't feel good about your life, then how are you ever going to be happy? So if feelings can be a guide, why not test it out? Why not see, okay, well, if this doesn't feel good, then what does feel good? And so we come down to one of the most basic forms of the 24 life ingredients that we were born with, which is the natural thought process. Natural thought process starts with observation. When we observe something and we watch how we feel about that, do we feel negative? Do we feel positive? Then we can say, okay, well, I'm not going to follow the negative. That would be kind of like driving into the curbs on a roadway. The curbs are there to guide us. So if that doesn't feel good, let me go towards something that feels better. So if I'm thinking about a past relationship and how all my relationships have gone sour, for example, like so many of my clients have written, and so then I think instead of crashing into those curbs and thinking about how things have gone wrong, I start to feel, what will a good relationship feel like? What does it feel like to have to be in a relationship with a partner that loves you, that is in tune with what you're in tune with? So now you go to a better feeling. And now this is where the universe comes in, is the more that you observe that feels good, the more good feeling observations you'll find. The same as when you find negative, there's no end of negative observations to find. The deeper that you go into any kind of drama or negativity, the deeper that hole gets. And so the choice is yours if you decide to follow good feelings, and if you decide to observe better feeling things, or if you decide to observe things that don't feel good. But don't be surprised when you're not feeling good and you're crashing into those curbs and you're feeling worse, because you're observing and attracting more bad feeling things. So if we know that's how it works, and we know we have a choice about whether we feel good or feel bad, and yes, that choice might not be so easy to make at the beginning, because we're so used to making negative observations but yeah, it's harder to make positive observations. Absolutely, because that's a very weak muscle when we don't exercise it. And so like any muscle, when we exercise observation, and now we start to observe things that we like, and we observe things that we like better than other things, then we notice, if we're paying attention to our feelings, that we're finding inspiration. And as our inspiration climbs, then our confidence climbs. So now, as we observe more and more and more good feeling things, then what happens is that our inspiration climbs to unstoppable levels, and we have confidence, and we have the motivation to do anything. So it's not hard to see how people become very successful in any business or any line of work or anything in life because they have motivation. Well, they didn't start by chasing motivation. What they did was they started by observing. And when they observed, then they got inspired. And the more they observed, the more inspired they got, until they became so inspired that there was nothing else to do but take action. And that, in a very basic, practical sense, is all you need when you're starting with the law of attraction. You don't need anything more about theory. You don't need to know whether does it work, does it not work. All you need to know is that if you believe it, it will be. You know that from your own life. The moment you say, no, I can't do that, then you won't. But if you're riding a bicycle and you're going up a hill and you're saying, oh, that's a long hill, gee, I don't know if I can make that. Well, if you decide you can't do it, you won't. And you may not be physically fit enough to do it. But if you keep at it, if you really feel that that's what you want in your life, then you will find that with time you will be able to accomplish that. Now, it also helps that you don't defeat yourself right from the get-go. If you see a long hill ahead of you and it's daunting, well, don't look at the hill. Look down at the road. Look down at just in front of your wheel and just pedal and see how far you get. You'll notice that it's a lot easier when you don't destroy your own energy right at the beginning. Focus on those steps that are just ahead of you. We all agree with that term of that we should enjoy the journey. Well, that is the journey. That every step of that, you're pushing that bicycle up that hill or down, or to enjoying the free ride down the hill, is the journey. So if we're destroying our journey by looking at this, well, that's mountaintop, that's a long ways away, and geez, I don't know if I can make that. Well, how are you enjoying the journey? But if we say, okay, well, I'm out here to have fun, I'm out here to exercise, I'm out here to feel better, and I'm enjoying this, then I'm going to push the bicycle and I'm going to enjoy that, however far I make it. And then as with time, if I absolutely don't like that, well, I'm just not going to ride my bike up that hill. That's all there is to it. When I come to that hill, I'm going to walk, and I'm going to enjoy that part of the journey as a walk. But those are choices that we can make. For those that think that you have to force yourself or to discipline yourself into doing something that you don't want to do, absolutely wrong way to look at life. If you're not enjoying this particular part of your journey, then change it. Do something different. Do something so that it feels good, so that you can enjoy your journey. That's, after all, when you reach that goal, when you reach that hilltop, the world doesn't stop. You're on to your next journey. What will that be? If you're going to hate your next journey, then what's your life going to look like when there is a series of connected and related hated journeys? So when you consider law of attraction from a very practical sense, break it down into bits. Do you believe that it's possible for you? If so, do it. Does it feel good? Great. If not, find something by observation that feels better. And with that, you'll be well on your way, and you can forget all the rhetoric and all the theoreticals about life and everything else. When you focus on observing what you like and what you don't like, lean towards the things that you like, and always be guided by your feelings, then you can be well on your way. The best way to start on this journey is by doing the self-test at mylifesoup.com. And then along with that, you can get a 20-minute free life coaching session that'll help you start in any area of your life where you're struggling. There's no strings attached. It's a 20-minute coaching session that's designed specifically for you to gain success in something in your life. We're not interested in forcing or tricking people into signing up for our longer coaching sessions. There's people that don't want that. They're not ready for that. We want clients that are going to be successful, and those clients are people that decide for themselves that they're ready for 3 months of coaching or a year worth of coaching, or people that are ready to become life coaches in our program. We're not interested in trying to convince you to do something that you don't want to do in your life. That's not what coaching is about. Our coaching is about giving you the 24 life ingredients so that you can do what you want with your life and feel good about what you're doing. So until then, until we meet again, I'm John Verway, and I wish you all the best in your life and enjoy your journey.